Hey, Dan Meyer here, and today I'm going to talk to you about keeping your team at home. Now, the idea behind this video is that if you're in a situation where you're growing your business is not just surviving but doing pretty well, you've probably made some choices that have most of your team working remotely. And you may want to continue to do that. And I want you to think about the reasons why you would keep most of your team at home versus having them go back at least full time to an office location. Now, if you're thinking about growing your business or launching a new business or just scaling what you're doing, these lessons I'll talk about today would also hold true for you, that while you keep most of your team at home, you can be quite successful. I'm going to focus on the 5 reasons why I think it's important to keep a team at home. This is why most of my team works from home. Working from home gives you more flexibility. It actually increases your productivity. It raises employee satisfaction. It's cheaper to keep your team at home. And most importantly, it's easier for you to manage. So I'll talk about those things as I go through this talk today. And a little bit about my background. I have a team of 100 people. 99% of them, actually 98% of 100 is 98. 98 of them work at home. I have 2 people that are office-based. Everyone else in my organization works at least mostly, if not full-time, from their home. I've been doing this for over 10 years. I've been very successful. I serve over a dozen clients. I make over $1 million a year. I live a great life. My ability to rely on my home-based team to run the business, including my management team, allows me to spend a lot of my time doing what I want to do and not what I have to do. I get to travel a lot. I get to speak at a lot of conferences. I get to attend a lot of events. I get to do things that I think are important and that time has proven are important that I focus my energy on. And things that I don't have to do, somebody else does. And things that I'm not good at or shouldn't be doing, I delegate to other members of my team. And this has allowed me to be pretty successful. And this is what I want to talk to you about today, is the flexibility it gives you having your team working from home. Flexibility in the fact that you can have 24/7 coverage, right? You don't have to have just office hours when you're hit 5 o'clock and your business stops, right? Maybe you have a Facebook page, maybe you do some automatic responders for emails or some customer service calls. But bottom line is, if you're not in the office, things aren't getting done. That's the old way of doing things. Now, there are some businesses where you have to always have some people in a physical location. But for a lot of businesses, we found out that even businesses we thought needed an office environment, we're finding the flexibility of home-based gives us more to be able to provide our customers. I love the fact that I have people that work 24/7, so that for my customers and my clients, that means there's always somebody available to answer a question. It's not relying on me or 1 or 2 people working in customer service in an office to reply or to get back or to take a call. There's always somebody available 24/7 across the globe to respond. We also have flexibility in people being able to not have to miss work, right? If you have a sick kid and you can't take them to daycare, you got to stay home with them. If you don't feel great, if you don't feel horrible, but you don't feel great, instead of taking a day off, you can work from home. I mean, the flexibility that comes with working from home is a feeder into so many other things, including productivity and employee satisfaction. But that flexibility that you get, flexibility basically is defined as a willingness to change or compromise. And we need to be flexible in our thinking. If we're doing a business, how many of us are actually able to say that most of our team works from home? It's scary for some people, but believe me, from my experience and the experience of most of my clients working from home, that flexibility we get, having most of our teams be home-based, actually is a huge plus. The next thing I want to talk to you about is productivity. The effectiveness of our production. How many things we can do. What is our output compared to the input it takes? Now, productivity for me, it's amazing how much more productive I'm at home. During this recent pandemic and crisis of being home more, I'm much more productive. I get much more done in shorter periods of time because I'm not going to places. I'm not going to meetings. Now, I miss going places. I love traveling. I miss interacting. I miss networking. But I got to admit, and I think most of us would have to admit, that most days we get a lot more done if we don't ever leave the house. Now, if you're not that kind of person who can do that, it could be a problem. But most of us, especially if we're doing pretty well in our business, we've adapted pretty well to productivity. I mean, internet access, cloud storage, messaging apps, project management tools. It actually is, I think, less distracting. When you're home, when you're in the office, you get caught in conversations. You have water cooler talks. Yes, those are cool. I do miss those sometimes, but I got to admit, I wasted a lot of my professional life going to, standing at, and coming back from Starbucks. I wasted a lot of my professional life sitting around talking about what we're going to do for lunch, and then taking a long lunch, and then thinking of reasons not to go back to the office. I mean, when you're in the office environment, you just are not productive. But if you have a good home-based environment, if you set up your home office so that it's got a chance to separate you from your home life, if you have a special room you set aside, or even a corner where you can work and just work, if you can build your structure in a way that you don't get distracted easily by friends or family, if you have the lighting right, and if you have the right microphone and the right headset and the right computer, all the tools you need, you could be much more productive from home. I've found it to be true, and I think most of my clients are definitely feeling the same thing. And I know my team loves that ability to be more productive when they're at home, which is important because employee satisfaction, my team. One of the reasons why I'm so successful is my team loves working for me. And I don't mean this because I'm a great guy. It's because I trust them. I give them a lot of autonomy. I let them get out there and do what needs to get done on their own pace. And they're incredibly satisfied, right? I have a super low attrition. In the last 10 years, I've had a couple years where I've had almost 0 people leave. My core management team, the ones that run my business, have been with me, most of them, since 2013. Employee satisfaction is great. And employee satisfaction can really be impacted sometimes by office politics, by office drama, by all the things happening in the environment that doesn't impact you individually, but the people around you, which will in turn drag everyone to a negative place. So the last thing I'll say about employee satisfaction is you have to measure it. You should look at your measurements to make sure that people really are satisfied working from home, but they're probably going to be. You want to make sure that you're comparing when they're home versus when they're in the office and making sure that that really is the right choice. But I'm pretty sure you're going to be. I know it is for my team. I know it is for my clients. I know it is for a lot of the businesses that I work with as a consultant, or just people that I know that have businesses. People really enjoy working from home much more than an office. It's just the world we live in now. You know, we have the ability to do it, and people have gotten used to it. So the next thing I'll talk about really is costing, right? The cost of doing business, the costing difference between staying at home and staying in the office. Any expenses a business incurs while in the process of conducting business is something you want to look at. And there are way more expenses generally associated with the physical location. Everything from having to have a higher speed internet, to productivity tools, to clocking in, clocking out, break rooms, keeping things clean, custodial staff, keeping the rugs clean. I mean, every business is different, but every business who has an office incurs different expenses. There are some things that you may pay for home-based staff. Maybe you give them an allowance for their internet or for their mobile service. Maybe you give them a little extra money to cover that, but they're actually saving money because they're not paying for commute. They're not paying to eat lunch out all the time when they go out at the office. They're probably cutting back on Starbucks. So when you don't have to pay for office space, that's really the biggest one, right? Rent is a big chunk of most office budgets. And then on top of rent, you look at things like insurance and utilities and all the other things that go into operating an office, whether you use it or not. You can add up quite a bit. So I have a very small office for 2 people, for my 100 people that work for me. Only 2 of them work in office. I don't even have my own office, right? At times I rent space. At times I use co-working spaces, but most of the time, most months, I've been working on my own for 10 years now. Most of my time is spent either at home or working at a Starbucks or at a mall or a restaurant or wherever I happen to be with my laptop and Wi-Fi. But when you have your team working from home, you're going to save money. It's pretty much a guarantee. So look at the difference. How much more are you going to save? Can you repurpose those funds for other things? If you're struggling financially, this is probably the most important thing to think about. Can you cut this? And maybe some of you already have. If you're thinking of repurposing those funds, though, from what you'd save on having an office to how many more people you can hire or how much more you can pay your current employees to increase their productivity, increase their satisfaction, these are good things you should be thinking about. Good conversations you want to have with decision makers in and around your business to see if you really need an office. We just live in this new space, right? We live in this new environment where even people that have offices don't have to have everyone come in. I think about companies that do manufacturing. Yes, they need to have some people physically there to run the machines and to do distribution. But do you have to have your HR staff there, your IT staff there? Do you need your entire management team, your finance team, your administrative support? Whatever you have, do they have to take up office space? Could you have a smaller office environment? Could you sublease your office space? Could you repurpose what you're doing with it? You should be thinking about all this stuff because you have the ability to save money if you cut down costs. So these are the important things, right? And the most important thing I think, besides all the ones I listed so far, is what it means for you, right? What it means for the business owner, for the entrepreneur, for the person who's trying to grow your business. If you have the ability to have a little more money, if you have a team that's being super productive, if you have flexibility to go where you want to go, you can take what you need to take to people to see them in person. You can go out there and be the face of the business, speak about it at conferences, write books, do what you need to do to be able to really grow your business. If you're interested in doing something like this, if you want to figure out how to scale your business or to make sure that all your team that's working from home is as productive as you want them to be, I have a way to do that. I teach my virtual staff how to be more consistent, to do things in more clarity, and to have more certainty in what we do, both for how we do our jobs, as well as how we provide for our clients. I want you to be able to focus on what you do best. And if you need to hire people to do all the rest, then that's where we can help out with virtual staffing. So if you're trying to keep most of your team at home and it's working great, if you want to scale your business, you want to add more home-based people, we can help you do that. If you want to get started with that, you can just text the word data, DATA, to 26786, or you can go to sonicva.com. It's sonicva.com, and you can send us a message telling us you want to figure out how to outsource something, you want to delegate something, you want to build up your team of virtual staff. Let us know, and we will be glad to help you. So I want to thank you for your time. That's my message for today. Now go out and do something from home.